And moving from one end of our nation to the other, we're going to introduce now in Washington State, Aneesha Dieu from the Columbia Conservation District. Hey, Aneesha, how's things?
Good. Can everybody hear me okay?
We got you loud and clear, and hopefully you've got everything you need on your end. So,
Yeah, we're going to see if I get control here.
okay.
There we go. Okay. So I might have some slight pauses. We are in very rural America, so my slides are showing a little bit slower than some others maybe. And so that took quite a while there to actually pull up. So I will try to keep that going. But yep, thank you, Ray, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. As mentioned, I am Aneesha Dieu, District Manager of Columbia Conservation District. I have been with the district now for 3 really great years. And I would like to just start off by saying thank you to Ray and the NASTA for inviting me to speak with you all today about our experiences. And I really hope that I provide beneficial information that supports just how effective we as conservation districts can be while not co-located with NRCS. Let's see how fast this goes. All right, so before diving in, I do want to give a little bit of a background on the district and where we're located. We are in the southeast corner of Washington State, where our office resides in Dayton, Washington. Our conservation district was established in 1949, and as population has grown over the years, we are still supporting a rather small community of roughly 3,800 members. We are also a small district with only 4 employees, and our district is completely grant run. So our main funding sources are our Washington State Conservation Commission, as well as Bonneville Power Association and the Recreation Conservation Office. And so also, whether we are a small community, the ground that we work on is a pretty good size. So we are about 870 square miles worth of land that we work with. We do see 4 very equal seasons with temperatures and wind chill values of -20 to all the way up to 115. With this, we have low and high precip areas, and this leads us to have numerous types of ecosystems, from forest ground to shrub steppe. Our productive ground is primarily dryland agriculture and pasture rangeland. And our county is also home to the Touchy and Tucannon watersheds. We are pretty unique in natural resource benefits, including what I think is a really important aspect, that our Tucannon River is the last tributary to the Snake River, in which native spring Chinook salmon still spawn here. It makes it a high priority for salmon protection and habitat restoration. These attributes deliver multiple opportunities to provide support in implementing conservation practices within our county. So moving forward, Columbia Conservation District was co-located with NRCS and others for many years. The district and NRCS worked together frequently with landowners who were satisfied with our what we called one-stop shop, where they were able to get all their needs met in one building. During this time frame, there were multiple concerns expressed, though, about our office space, including low parking availability. It had pretty poor access to, or has poor access to, Dayton's Main Street, where landowners and producers commonly make stops for other needs, as well as the need to have room to grow. And after a new building was constructed at the edge of town, NRCS and the others moved in 2015. So it's been rather recent, but we've had about 7 years now of being independent. During this process, the Conservation District was asked if we would like to move as well. And with this, our district investigated all the parameters. Rental rates at that time were not available for us. And so we knew that they would be much higher than what we currently are. And it was also noticed that there would be no room for growth for us as a district if we wanted to add to our team. As the board and team waited for more information, not comfortable with the unclear target of the move, the district decided to stay in our current location. So this move, or lack thereof, was a huge change, and it required definitely a lot of adjustment for the first few years. Working through a few growing pains and feeling more confident in the process, we do believe that there are multiple benefits that have come to light. A big one is self-identity. So the conservation districts were purposely created to be unique, and I believe in a world of their own. While we still follow NRCS standards in implementing our better management practices, we have been given the opportunity to run with ideas and create our own path, of course, within reason. But we as a district have diverse programs that fit a wide range of project needs, including but becoming more diverse as years pass. Things like soil and education outreach through our implementation funds that we get through Washington State Conservation Commission, the natural resource investment program that we have, volunteer stewardship programs. We also do burn and rain data collection, irrigation efficiencies, and a big one is our river habitat restoration program. And so we also do still partner with NRCS for our conservation enhancement reserve programs, of course, CREP, and technical assistance for CRP. Our programs have multiple timelines associated with them and are not as stringent contractually, which allows for implementation to take place at all times of the year. We as district and landowner producer also get the opportunity to be more hands-on and really drive project implementation, which we believe helps increase investment and likelihood to maintain projects, as well as cultivate the desire for the landowner producer to develop more. For every producer within our district that does one project with us, they have an 80% chance of doing multiple projects with us. With this unique background that we have, we don't have to follow just the 9-step process that NRCS has for implementing their projects. We are basically told to have the ability to be innovative and adapt and try to really make sure that every project that comes to us from landowners are able to be done in the way that their needs are met. And the other big benefit is that we are a huge mediator for the producer landowner in regards to technical assistance or with regulatory agencies like Department of Ecology. And so the biggest thing that they do is come into us whenever that they have problems, and we tend to be their first go-to. And we believe that that's really helped improve our relationship with the landowners and trust building with them as well. So in drawbacks that we've seen, there's only one in particular that really stands out in our minds, and that is communication. And of course, there's several different avenues that are within communication, and it is such a big tool to get projects on the ground. Not being co-located with NRCS and other agencies has made communicating more difficult and more time consuming. It's hard when we can't just walk next door like we used to. We've heard comments from producers that it was nice to have that one-stop shop to complete all of their tasks. And of course, with communication being more complex, planning and organizing projects gets more complex. And it can prove difficult to manage when projects go through multiple hands. Networking has become more of a challenge as well, due to the lack of just stopping by that the producers used to do, even if they didn't have business with us at the time. While these, as I mentioned earlier, are growing pains that we had, we have found solutions in being proactive in our implementation by creating multiple paths forward to be adaptive and flexible to all situations, with an understanding that every situation is dynamic and always evolving. And we've continued to look for ways to improve the process so that next time things can be completed more efficiently and accurately. So in providing the 3 recommendations, I've pulled from many resources, including past and current team members. I've reached out to NRCS and FSA staff to hear their experiences from when everybody was co-located. And while I was not part of the conservation district when we were co-located, I do believe the next 3 recommendations are key to being effective, successful, and of course, most of all, memorable. There it goes. Okay. So recommendation number one, talk, educate, and reach out. Networking is key. When discussing and researching projects, it's big to recommend all programs. I've always evaluated where NRCS programs like CSP or EQIP might be a better fit for projects. There is a time and place for every program, so make sure that to evaluate each project from multiple angles and don't be subjective. For us, for recommendation number two is to be adaptive. As mentioned, being flexible and understanding the end goal has multiple paths in which it can be accomplished is vital to the continuation of implementing projects. Thinking outside of the box is big. In most cases, there is a way to solve most problems. And of course, number three, which I think is one of the most important, is teamwork. To stand out independently can be great. We and can make anyone, as in anyone, feel accomplished. But acting as a team and being part of something bigger makes everyone feel accomplished and makes the circumstances extraordinary. Collaboration with our partners in the field, even outside of conservation, brings that holistic perspective to the project implementation and provides an exceptional support system for landowners and producers. And I would like to just share a few accomplishments that we have recently had as a district. I believe in giving my district kudos because they have done such an amazing job over these last couple of years. And my last district manager and financial manager that have recently retired have done an extraordinary job building up this district. And so want to give a little bit of some background of what's happened for us lately. Using these recommendations that I've provided, our district was awarded Southeast Area and Washington State Conservation District of the Year Awards for 2021. We were highly recognized by the Fish and Wildlife Committee for the Bonneville Power Association for our efforts and progress made within Columbia County. We have implemented roughly 20 projects yearly, investing over $2 million yearly as well. And that's mostly, it's about a 2/3, 1/3 split on 2/3 of that money going on the ground. So we are really big about being frugal and building up our projects. And looking to the future, we are growing our nutrient management project to encompass a wider concept of what we call a pH cliff point. And that is what we've seen north of us, and it threatens all of our agriculture in Eastern Washington. And Columbia Conservation District may be small, but we have provided proof that we can still effectively coordinate and implement projects while not co-located with NRCS. Without following these recommendations we've set for ourselves, I wouldn't be able to tell you for sure if we'd be where we are today. And I just want to say thank you to everyone and to our great district and our board who we appreciate greatly for how involved they were willing to be, to USDA and NRCS for their commitment to stay involved as partners and working together to conserve our natural resources and support our community. And thank you for your time. And my email is missing from this slide, so I will put that in the chat.
Aneesha, thank you so much.